This is Kirks Bronco, and despite having the fancy OEM signature lighting package, he is actually a little bit jealous of this, which is my Bronco Raptor with the amber lighting package. Luckily, AlphaRex has a solution that you can upgrade either one of these vehicles. It can actually upgrade even the base lighting package to something way cooler. Let me show you. So before we hand these things over to Banker to do the step-by-step install, we got to get them unboxed so we can show you guys all the features. Oh, there's more boxes inside the box. Oh boy. Suction. Ralph Lauren. That's what the RL stands for. So inside of each of the separately packaged boxes, they're going to come with the foam inserts. These things are protected during shipping, and they're plastic wrapped too, so you're not going to get any damage on the lenses themselves in the shipping process. Most satisfying part right there. So these are the AlphaRex Nova Series headlights for the 21 and up 6th gen Ford Broncos. And they're gonna fit basically all of the models, whether you have a base model, Sasquatch, Wildtrak, Badlands, Everglades, etc., all the way up to the Raptor. You can actually put them in there as well. Now that we got these things unboxed, number one, they have a pretty cool startup sequence. But to talk about the lights themselves, so AlphaRex has been around since 2018, but the manufacturing partner that they use to actually build these things has been manufacturing lighting products for over 20 years. So although AlphaRex might be a newer company to the game, the quality and standards that are in place here to make sure that these things are compliant with DOT regulations and SAE regulations is top notch. And their quality really is good. And they've come a long way since 2018. They've really grown substantially. So some of the important things on here, they put a lot of work into these polycarbonate lenses to make sure that they're durable. And then they also apply an anti-fog coating to these things as well so that they're not gonna fog up. To aid in combating that, they also have a ton of venting when you look at the back side. If there was ever to be any kind of moisture that gets in here with the changing climates and temperatures, you can be confident that these headlights are going to vent properly so that you don't have any condensation building up inside of here. These things too are all plug and play with your factory harnesses. There's no cutting or splicing that needs to be done. Same thing as far as fitment goes. These fit just like OEM headlights. They have adjustability just like OEM headlights. So they really do put a lot of work into making a good product here. What sets these apart from some of the other headlights on the market, you actually get 4 separate projectors in here. And it's important that you're using a real projector housing, especially when it comes to LED lights. We all know somebody who's put LED lights in a halogen housing. And although it is bright, it just throws the light everywhere, which is completely useless for you as a driver. So when they're putting them in these specifically designed LED projector housings, you're getting that clean cutoff, you're getting the maximum light output, you're getting the perfect white color temperature, all the things that you should be looking for in a good quality headlight. So if you have a base that doesn't have like the signature lighting look, you can achieve that with the AlphaRex headlights with that full white circle and bar. You can also choose to go more towards the Raptor style if you already have the signature package, or you just like the amber look and go with the full amber circle and bar. And you can also go with the white circle and an amber bar. So you can really customize this to your preferences. You're also gonna see 2 different options for the Nova Series headlights, and Nova is the top of the line from AlphaRex. So they have a standard one as well as a black version. Basically what that does is be like doing a chrome delete on factory housings where this ring and bar, there's no shininess to it other than the gloss that's there because it's all tinted black and just gives you a really nice look with the black housing and the clear lens. So you have that dark appearance without having to have the downfall of having like a tinted lens over your lens. So to put these things a step above OEM headlights as well, they also offer a sequential turn signal, which is just something else that's going to really set these apart from OEM headlights. So if you're running, for example, the white daytime running light and you hit your blinker, it's going to take that amber bar in the center and make that a sequential turn signal for you. Now that we got these things unboxed, I'm going to run them over to Banker, get them installed.
Yeah, so we're gonna need an 8mm and a 10mm to actually get the headlights out. Some panel tools, we have a lot of clips and things to take off, and then some flathead screwdrivers just for adjustment after the headlights are in. And that's all you're gonna need for this install. All right guys, so before we start any electrical work, you're gonna wanna disconnect the negative terminal of the battery just so we don't have any negative side effects. Now we're gonna pry it off through all the red dirt because Kirk doesn't clean his Bronco. All right, so now that we've got that disconnected, we can go ahead and start by removing this plastic tray. 9 of these clips we're going to want to remove with our pry tool. We now have access to the 4 10mm bolts that hold the grill on, as well as the equipped front camera here. We're gonna unplug that, and then we'll be able to pull the grill off. Is everything caked in dirt? Okay, so now that we've got our 4 bolts removed, we can just remove the grill by prying it out. Now the next step is gonna be to remove the fender flares. So ideally, you're not gonna have a camera in your way, but we're gonna have to move a camera first. All right, so to remove our fender flares, we're gonna see these 5 tabs. We're just gonna take them and turn them so that they're facing completely out. That's gonna disconnect those. You'll see what looks like another tab. That's gonna be actually a push pin into the fender. So we're gonna take our pry tool behind each one of those and just pop it out. And we can remove our fender. Okay, so now that we got the flares off, we can pull this center trim piece off, and that's gonna be as simple as popping it out of its clip on the fender here, and the same on the other side, and then straight out from under the headlight and under the grille shutters here. So now that we've got all that off, we finally have access to our headlights. And there's going to be 10mm bolt, 10mm here, and a push pin. And here, 1 8mm bolt here. All right, so we're gonna start by popping the push pin out first, kind of work it out.
3, 2, 1, see ya.
I don't know where that went. So now we've got the push pin and the 2 top 10mm bolts out. All we have left holding it in is gonna be this lower 8mm bolt. If you'll see on our new headlight, there's gonna be a pin right behind here. So we're gonna take our pry tool, put a little pressure to that, and then pop our headlight out. When we've got it out, simply reach back here, depress the tab, unplug, and we've got our headlight out. And we repeat the process on the other side. Now, before we reinstall our new AlphaRex headlights, we're actually gonna want to set them to the correct sequence. So with the 4 functions that Fuller detailed, we're going to remove this box on the bottom. So it's gonna be these 4 Phillips head screws. Inside, we'll find 2 plugs, and that is going to determine which color variation we have. All right, so these 2 plugs with our white wires are going to be what determine our colors here. So one of these is going to be the halo on the headlight. The other one is going to be the bar across here. These are going to come when you first get them completely unhooked of each other, and that's going to default everything to white. Plugging in both, everything in amber running light. So for the amber halo and the white bar, we're going to unplug plug 1 and plug in plug 2, leave plug 1 unplugged, and then you can reverse the order, plug 1 together, unplug 2, and get the opposite effect. You just want to make sure that we have your separate harnesses and you do not plug these into each other, only plug them into themselves. We're going to seal this back up, put our screws back in, and we can get the headlights installed into the vehicle. All right guys, so now that we have our amber DRL sequence set, we are good to install these back into the vehicle. Now, AlphaRex does say that you do not want to put any sort of dielectric grease on these. Okay, so we'll plug that in, slide this back in, and remember we've got this push pin here, so we'll give it a little pop, and we can throw our bolts back in. Ow!
Me too. Well, I don't think that's a tool I would use to do that. But.
I didn't know I'd need to bring a hammer. All right guys, so now that we got the headlights back in, before we put everything back together, reconnect the negative terminal, just test the headlights, make sure everything's working the way we want it to. Oh no! We got our headlights installed. Now these will need to be aimed. Easiest way to do this at home, park about 25 feet from your garage door I also like to wait until it's dark so that you can just take a drive down the road, see how the output actually shows up down the road, come back, make a few adjustments. So we're gonna kick this back to Fuller. He's gonna show you how these work.
So when we started this whole thing, I really thought that I had the more aggressive front end, and now that we got the AlphaRex Nova Series projectors installed in Kirks Bronco, I think it might take the win here. So there's a few key differences between the two. Obviously, just from standing here, it's kind of actually embarrassing. These are already good lights. Ford gave good lights for the Bronco, but it doesn't even look like mine are on when I'm looking out in front of us. And Kirks are significantly brighter. They got a way cleaner cutoff. The beam pattern is excellent, and they look really sick. One of the key things that changes the appearance on the front end of the Bronco and makes this thing look so much more aggressive is the Ice Cube 3D projectors. So this is something that they've been working on to engineer and patent, and they kind of set themselves apart from your typical OEM projectors. Now, keep in mind, on the standard ones, you're not even getting projectors. These are just LEDs in a standard reflector housing. With these projectors, on a normal OEM one, you're gonna have shrouds that cover the sides. They didn't do that. They gave you the whole projector so that it doesn't matter what side or what angle you're looking at this light from, you can see the light, which also means that you have more light output too, because that light is getting spread. At the same time, they were able to manage that pattern so you have a really direct focused beam in front of you that gives you good coverage on the road or off-road, wherever you're using these things. The other huge part is you've got all four of them on, whereas on the OEM lights, whether you have the signature lighting package or the base lighting package, you only get one. If you kick on your high beams, that's when the bottom one's gonna come on. But like I said, you got all four of them on here, so it just looks really aggressive. When you do kick on the high beams on the AlphaRex ones, you're gonna see that the bottom lights have basically an actuator that opens that up. The lights are gonna automatically raise to give you your high beam pattern. So that's like probably the key thing that really sets these apart as far as the appearance wise. Overall, I think these are a huge improvement over the already pretty decent lights that are on the Bronco. Not only are these brighter for you, but you're also better for other people on the road. So you can upgrade your brightness, upgrade your throw, upgrade your beam pattern. This makes total sense in my opinion. If you want to grab a set, you can get yours at customoffsets.com.